learning, what we've learned, and we are going to also have maybe something to do with. We're also going to have an open forum and question and answer. So feel free to ask anything that you really want to understand about the session that we're going to have today. So just for us to begin, I'll ask Alvin to please pray with us as we begin our session. So Alvin, if you're getting me, please
Yeah,
can you
yeah, it is.
can pray with us.
Okay, let's pray. Our Father, what in heaven, hallowed be your name. I just want to thank you so much for Heavenly Father being with us throughout the day, and for the Lord. Thank you so much for being us here in this meeting as we continue learning more about the ministry and Vita Pathfinder and how we can do better, improve our club to be a team one. So God, as we begin, we overlook to be with us, oh God, and to guide us, oh God. Help us to understand what we're going to learn today. Those who are still joining, pray for the Lord that you may be with them, and also be with the facilitator, Pastor Pascal, who's going to share with us. And by the end of the meeting, let's everyone say he did. He or she has learned something that will help his or for Peter's and believe in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you so much. So as we begin, my name is Paschal Oyucho. Paschal Oyucho comes to us from 254, that is Kenya, and my membership is at Yangales Day Church. That's where I worship from, and that's where my name is. And I'm currently a student pastor at Agoma University, pursuing Bachelor of Theology. So that's where I also serve as an elder, apart from serving in the youth ministries department. So that is me in a nutshell. And we are running this program currently with Jared Bewa. And as we are going on, this session is also live on YouTube as we speak, and under TJC Media Kenya. So we happen to be the coordinators of that particular group, Adventure Worldwide. And not as alone, we have several people who are going to be part of us in the near future. We are going to have several people coming and sharing and having different sessions. And remember, we are going to have our sessions based on demand. If you just feel like there's something you want us to share, you just post it in the wall. We'll have the right people to help us run and understand and work for God. We are here just to empower ourselves so that we can work for God with all humility. And just as we begin, there's there's one reason as to why Jesus' disciples were not accepted. It's simply because they did not meet the threshold of becoming disciples. Another reason as to why they were rejected because the person who was guiding them, who was Jesus Christ, was not seemed not to be qualified, not to be qualified to be a rabbi or to be a teacher, because according to the Jewish culture, a child who was born, a male child, was taken to the school of the synagogue to learn the Torah and the scriptures, and then when they mastered the concepts, they were assigned a certain rabbi or a rabbi to take care of them and to grow in the church. But those who were not able to master the concepts of the Bible, they were they were sent. They were sent back to go back to their father's activities, farming, fishing, and the rest. So when Jesus came and went for those who were rejects in the schools of the prophets or the schools of the school of those particular times. So And that's why it was very much hard for that. And Jesus became their teacher and their rabbi. And we are here with the same line that we are here to empower ourselves. We are here just like people who were maybe might seem that you do not know anything because they were like the person teaching you who taught him all these things and the person who is directing you. So we are just like the disciples, we are being empowered here. Jesus empowered the disciples, and that's why here today we are Christians because it's because of them that Christianity was able to spread. So we are here to be engaged, to be empowered, so that when we go out there, we go and make sure the kids that are in our hands are taken care of. We need to go out there and see that those who are in our they've been given to be part of us to be taken care of, and that is my our major aim, that may we serve these young people with humility, may we serve them with all that we have, knowing them that the crown and the stars awaits us in heaven. So as we begin our session, just know that you've been given a responsibility to help the young people in the young children and the youth in our churches, and do your honest part, do all your best. So that's my encouragement as we start our session today. Thank you so much. Now, friends, we are going to have a presentation and we are going to have a recap. I'll go very straight to the key points or the key points of the first session that we had, that was club planning and programming. That is what we want to do first. So as we go for that, we need to there are several things that I'm just going to give is a recap. And a recap, I'm just going to the flashlights, things that are very key, and then you'll ask your question. Now, why do we have uh, club planning and programming? As you can see in your screen, is to develop familiarity with the activities and features that together form the junior youth program. For you to make a successful adventurer, pathfinder, children ministry, you must program yourself. And programming is very key and that's why we have calendar of events. You have to know why are you given this noble duty and how are you going to achieve. There's nothing bad as leaving a department with nothing. You found it dying, in fact, you buried it. We are here so that we can be engaged, we can be equipped, and we can be empowered so that when we we continue working in our clubs and ministries and departments, we are leaving a mark. There's nothing as bad as taking a whole year without something that you can say, when I was given a chance, I did ABCD. Legacies are there. Jesus left legacies. All the patriarchs in this world left legacies. If today was the last day on earth, what will you remember you with? And that's why we are here today, to provide a background for leaders that will enable them to plan and coordinate a successful ministry within the local Pathfinder Adventure Club. So that is the reason as to why we are doing club planning and programming. So need to understand that we need to program. But now, after understanding the objective of planning and programming, and knowing that if you plan very well, this is what is going to happen, is one of the main objective of Pathfinder Adventurer Club is to prepare the youth for life with its emergencies and help the youth to become useful in both God and man. We are here to make these children useful. Your work, you've been given to make them so that you can be there to be useful. So that's just an objective. Allow me to rush direct to a presentation that I want us to have today. That when you are doing your program, there are things that you need to understand, like we talked about. And these are what we talked about. This now you should understand that the Pathfinder Adventurer program, it it is based on a 10 or 11 month calendar. It can be 11 or 10. So this one will need regular meetings, bi-monthly meetings, and by monthly meetings and also daily programs. Allow me to do something before I continue. A minute, please. Okay, thank you so much. No, am I clear or are you getting echo? If I'm clear without echo, a thumbs up, please. Okay, thank you. That's what I was trying to work in the background. Okay, thank you.
There's still an echo.
There is an echo. The echo.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and now is there still echo? There's still echo. Okay. Okay, let me do something. Okay, I don't know if I'm now. There's no echo now. It's okay now. Uh-huh. Are you still getting an echo?
It's better now.
It's better now. Thank you. Let's try there. Now, like we were saying, that we need to, to, to understand what we need to, what are the key things in the club planning and programming. And like we said, that we need to have a 10-year calendar or 11 years, and there are regular meetings, by monthly events, campouts, and conference events, pathfinder classes. This is the outline of the program where we can have weekly meetings, like 2 times in a week. Pathfinder adventure are being advised that we should have 2 meetings in a month, and we should now start in developing weekly meetings, monthly meetings, regional station, where we need to have the special meeting events and everything. So those are the things. But now, as you continue, you should also understand that there are several things that a club should organize. One, we need to have outreach, classes, honors, field trips. I believe there's something that we shared previously that was talking about what is so needful for a successful finder or adventurer event. So another thing that is also important about planning and programming, if you have the dates that are chosen and maybe the conference, worldwide events that are there, so that whenever you're planning, you must have a background of events that are all usually uh, are happening in our church, like the GC events, distribution events, as you plan yourself. Then if you have various classes, requirements, small requirements, field trips, unit events, all these things should be part and parcel of their planning and programming. So after having that, we can have the club meetings. We have regular club meetings. Which model are going to use? So those are just a background of it. So now my main aim today, according to demand of people who came to me for this recap, is that, and this is what I want us to share now. What we're sharing will be something that we need to see how it can work and how best we can be able to achieve it. Number one, this thing has been shared. What I'm sharing has been shared in our platform. This is a sample of a calendar of events that you can have. I've seen, like we say, that if you want to plan a year, don't plan. The best plan is a whole year program. Some plan a year through quarterly, monthly, or director or the staff agree. What do you think we should do? Let us go for swimming next Sunday. Let us go. No, that's how we plan. We are planning to fail in our clubs. But when we have a whole year program that has the date, or I mean the event, that has the date, that has the venue where the event is going to be, and even the intended transport. And these are things that you need to have as a director before the year begins, before you go to the parents. These are things that you need to present to the parents in the enrollment, because enrollment is the first event that you need to have. After enrollment, you need to have what we call an induction. After induction, you need to take kids for Pathfinder or Adventurer for a social event so that they can bond together. Those who are coming new can plan. So these are very key things in planning and programming. If any director who is here or a leader who is here who do not have a calendar that is going to run for the entire year, even 2 quarters, then I'm telling you that is, to me, I look at it that maybe you're not ready for the task, because by now we need to know how the program is going to run. And these are the things that are making a club scene moving and a serious club. And these are what makes difference from previous clubs. When we have a calendar that is guiding us, and that's even the even the world, even our leaders from the church, we have all these things. So in your planning and programming, you need to have all these things. So allow me to share also another thing. Now, this is now a sample of a whole year calendar that can guide us. And this is how it goes. I believe you can see it in your screen. So there we have this program as is made in quarterly. These are quarterly. These are a quarterly event that it has covered a whole year from January, maybe let me say from the first event to the last event of the year. According to this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. The first column is a column that has the date of the perceived event. The second column is the event itself. The third column is the venue, and the fourth column is the amount. When you have something like this spread and you have all the activity, when you budget, of course, when you're budgeting, you don't budget to the lower, you budget to the higher side. So according to what you're seeing in your screen, number one, we have the first quarter, which is January, February, and March. Automatically, January is always left for recruitment, is left for making things in order. The director was being chosen, looking for staff members, looking for volunteers, at least making your house in order. And then when your house is in order and everything is set, the next big thing is now to have what this where now the elders are being attached. This where January is just a month where you can now sit down and make this the event how you want to do the year. So as you can see here, we have a perceived date of 17th February to have an enrollment. The venue is the local church, and the amount is maybe 50 shillings that can cater for refreshment, that can cater for some of the things that can run that particular day. And remember, enrollment is where new parents are being welcomed to the club. This is where parents who want their kids to continue being in the Pathfinder Adventurer Club also join so that you can share together. And then after enrollment, you need to give it space like 2, 3 weeks, and then you get your induction. And remember, we talked about induction. Induction is purely a local church event, but I've seen some other places where they are bringing masquerade and making it a masquerade event. But if you go to your manual very well, induction day It can be done on a Sabbath and it can be done any other time. As long as there's a new member in the Pathfinder Adventure Club, he or she should be inducted to the Pathfinder Adventure Club. So if we tag master guides to be in charge of induction, so whenever one Pathfinder adventurer joins with two, will you call the master guide to come and officiate the induction? And that is why we are saying induction is purely local. It is the work of the director to accept the members in his club on behalf of the worldwide. But those who are have added master guides in their fields, no problem, is okay. But according to the standards and what we should do, it is not right. And that's why I'm saying that we are being guided by our manual. So induction can be done anytime. It can be done on a Saturday, on a Sunday, on an holiday, as long as there's a new member who has joined. So as you can look at this program, and then after that, we've said that you can go for Sunday at the building. And you can see now in the month of, and then after that, there's something very key in planning and programming, like what we are doing here. The next thing you need to, after now you've gone to Sunday, the kids are now geared to start the year. The next thing as a director, organize a training. It can be a curriculum training, any training that you see fit for your teachers, organize a training. And maybe after this, we might be having a training on teaching Pathfinder and Adventure curriculum. How can you achieve it? So training is very important. And then after that, after finishing, the month of February is a month of club getting started. And then by March, clubs will be beginning now. Classes can begin as you wait for the first outreach event, which is the Global Youth Day in the month of March, and you finish the year, the quarter. Second quarter, like according to this, we can say that April, the entire month of April, we have classwork continuing, honor studies are continuing, and then we can also have maybe like one other uh, outreach event, or rather maybe outing event, like I'll put there Nature Sabbath, and it has also an amount. So if you look at all these things from the first column, the second column, and the third column, you can have everything done. And remember, when we have this plan, it can guide you. In case there are things that are overlapping, you can able to come back. Now let us shift this from here to here, not omitting it completely, just shifting. Unless maybe a station event has come earlier and you expect you just shift around. We are planning to go on this month, but I've seen the program for the station is this. So don't wait for the station program to begin your planning and programming. Plan yourself, and then the rest will come. That is very key. So this is just a sample of it. If you go through this particular uh, program, or rather calendar, it has an amount of 9,500, 9,000 something there. And this 9,000 has come simply because of I've put there the Campuri, if at all we are going to the Campuri at 6,000. So meaning that the program for the year, according to this person, according to this calendar, a child who is a, maybe this is a Kenyan in Kenyan currency is 3,000 shillings. So if a parent gives 3,000 shillings, he or she has finished everything. And this program, when parents have them and you keep just reminding them, so yours will be a reminder. When you remind them, they'll be they'll be easy to cooperate with you. But many of us, we are trying to go tell your parents to bring 200 shillings. They're like, no, why? But if you do this thing early now, I tell you that I am telling you, even running the Pathfinder Adventure Club will be very easy. It is. And that's why we are having this kind of program very early, so that we can be able to make sure that we are objective, we are systematic, and we are in the right track. So according to this one, it is a 9,500. So when a parent gives you 10,000, maybe let me say, he or she is not expecting anything for you to come again. His is done or has done for the entire year. Or rather, if you have this and they know that, oh, I saw in the program, and you give them a copy to go at home to you, they'll be seeing reminders. So anytime you are communicating to your parents about an event that is coming, what you do is just to remind them, a reminder, a reminder. Planning and programming must come with reminders so that parents can work with us. That is very important. And that is the first of the now. According to this program, we've seen we have classes. How can you achieve a class? One of the best ways to make sure that you can have an investor service, you can have a real investor service, my friends, you must learn how to achieve the classes in the Pathfinder Adventure Club. And I'm going to share with you another screen, another sharing on a program that a sample of a club meeting. I have seen very many clubs who do not have a program. They just come and they just there. They are just saying the people. That's why you see many clubs will sing, other clubs will be marching the entire day. You're asking yourself, is that the objective of the Pathfinder Adventure Club? No, 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 no. There's market. So according to this, as you can see, it is also divided into three. We have the time, we have the activity, and then we have the instructor, the person in charge. Now, on the first dot, as you can see, we have between, this is a program that runs between 9 and 1 p.m. So between 9 and 9:15, kids are coming. Is a devotion. Who is the leader, the chaplain, or any other person that you can choose leads? Because remember, a club should have a chaplain or someone who is leading them in spiritual matters. And number two, we have classwork. Between 9:15 and 10:15, a whole hour, kids are in their classwork. And who is instructing this is the curriculum instructor. And remember, if you are a director who is here, you are not supposed to be the boss of everything. According to our manual, there's a role for each and everyone. The work of classes and making sure that everyone is there is the club deputy director or the secretary of the club. So yours is just to make sure that is everything happening right? You are like that. But I've seen directors doing everything, even making some calls. At times, just give the after planning, tell the secretary now can you make a communication. Even in our WhatsApp calls where parents are, the people who are supposed to communicate in our walls are our secretaries, not the director. But I've seen directors who want to prove and show that they're directors. This work is work of humility. Today you're the director, tomorrow you find yourself being a nobody in the church. I've seen elders, deacons, directors, who when after not being chosen, they now start backbiting, fighting the leaders, and that is why we are not here. We are here for only one reason so that we can empower our leaders, help our leaders, even if they are not master guides per se. I've seen people say, oh, master guide and everything. Master guide is not everything, but it is important for one to have master guide knowledge, but it is not the threshold of everything. That's why we are all here. So that when you get something, go and know how you can share with a director who is hard, maybe a director who's not flexible, maybe, or a director who's not even a master guide. The way you will approach him or her, now that you are empowered, I am telling you, he or she will be able to see the need of accepting and following what you are advising. Don't say that you don't know even what you're doing. No, 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 no. That's why we are here to enlighten one another. So now, between 10:30 and 11, 30 good minutes, I don't know how you planned your clubs. Pathfinder adventurers are supposed to be divided into units. Units that is done in club organization where you can now have these units. What is a unit? Where boys and girls are now meeting with their own. You should have a counselor who is going to guide them, talk to them. This is where they are learning skills. They are learning matters to do with grooming, manners. This is where they can learn there. And then between 11 and 11:30, you need to come now for what is called honors and awards. For adventurers, they can do what is called awards. For pathfinders, we do what we call honors. This is where we start practicing. This is where, in fact, in terms of honors awards, this is also a whole period where Pathfinder and Adventurer Club are preparing for fair. And remember, honors can be taught in like 3 sessions. So you can choose a honor, it can be taught in only 3 sessions, or if it is more, 4 sessions. So meaning that if you're meeting twice in a month and you have a timetable that you're following and you have honor that you're doing, I am telling you, you can do very many honors and achieve them. And at achieving, and you, the instructor who taught, assessing. In fact, there's no need of calling me, an outside assessor, to come and assess honor work. Honors are not supposed to be done to 100%, 75%. You who taught, after finishing the honor, if you are satisfied that these kids have understood, give them a simple test. It can be oral, it can be written, and when they do it, and you've seen that okay, and then this now what makes the files in our what in our prayers and everything. And then the honors can be bought and be put. Honors are not supposed to be given. They are not awards to be given during, or awards which are supposed to be given during the university. No, honors are supposed to be accumulated. These are accumulations that will be accumulated for the entire year. So as you achieve an award and you're done in satisfactory, and then if you're not satisfied, you can call an external assessor to come and there's no problem, but there's no need. That is wasting of finance to the class. That money you can use it in empowering your teachers and giving them lunch if you're a director, and making sure that they can even have porridge, they can even give them water to drink as they go through their what? Their teaching. These are things that you can empower your teachers, but you're here, you are so mean in money, you want to show that that money is church money. As long as it's being used faithfully for the particular adventurer club, and you can give evidence that this money was not eaten, it was not stolen, it went to the right thing. This is how you empower your teachers around. So awards and honors are accumulated for the entire year. So by the time participants and adventurers are going for investor, we want to see how decorated are there. But because of maybe lack of knowledge or lack of understanding, we are being forced to have awards and honors during the investor, which I'll say there's no problem. If you want to accumulate them and you're teaching, and then during the end of the year, you can now have the what? The awards being given, no problem. But per se, this is what encourages participants to come. I've done an honor, I've paid for it, I've been given. That's another thing. And then from there, you can have between 11, 30, and at least drills. Drills is also part of it. But adventurer, remember, we don't do this and much. We do it for fun. So you cannot just put adventurer. So there where pathfinders can have drill session, adventurer club can have their practice, or any other thing that a part of them, maybe want to teach some poem for the fair, you want to sing poem for the fair. That is another good thing. And then you should also give a break, and then between 12:15 and 12:30, you can have announced, the director will come and give announcement. And these are programs that I've seen work where uh, I was a director in the University Facilitator Club. I used this one, but as we are meeting between 3, we were meeting between 2 and 5. And that's how it's spread. But I've seen it work in my local church in Gaza. We had this thing that was helping us work, and I've seen it work. We just a sample of it. So my friends, was just a recap. And the major thing of club planning and programming is having a good calendar of events stipulated with the date, with the event, with the venue, and the amount. And a very good timetable that is guiding you to achieve the year events is having a simple club meeting calendar timetable that can help. So allow me to pause up there and ask if there is anyone with a question about what we just shared before we go to the next part on the Kingdom Ministries. Is there anyone? The question, you can raise up your hand so that you can be given a chance. Is there anyone? Okay, let me start with the chain. Yes, the chain.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. You have informed us that we can assess the honors. Does it mean that to the Pathfinder there is no need of having an honor book so that we can be, so that they need a stamp for them to achieve an honor? We just assess, and if we are satisfied, we can allow them to buy the honor and be awarded.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, assessing Pathfinder Adventurer honors and awards is simple. All honors, there are requirements that are there. So your assessment, you taught uh, based on the standard that you begin. Like now, let me start like which honor. Maybe let me talk of which honor. Sanctuary honor. And the sanctuary honor, they are the questions that you're supposed to do to teach them. And then after teaching them, like now, what are the parts of the sanctuary? An example. And then they know the outer court, the inner court, what is called. So I'm just giving an example. So after you teaching them based on the requirement, the next big thing is you can assess if they have mastered or if they got the thing. You can give a simple test according to that. So, and that is how you assess. You teach based on the requirements that are in the GC website because they're standardized. And then after teaching, you can now do an assessment with your own. It can be an oral, it can be question, and it can also be through a test. So that is how you do it, unless I got your question from Etienne. Is it okay? Thank you so much. Now, Alvin, I see your hand. And
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much, Mishi. I had a question. You said that the units, we have units in both in Pathfinder and Adventurer. And
mm,
what I knew, we normally have units in Pathfinder. What about in Adventure? Are they also allowed to form the units? Thank
wow.
you.
Thank you so much. Yes, according to the new administrative manual, there's one thing I want to challenge all of us. I am one person who like adventuring and learning new things. Anything that is updated, I'm one person who loves so that whenever I teach or I train, I have both knowledge that we were here, but we are now here. So according to the new administrative manual of the Adventurer Club, you'll see there's something with the units. So it is, but now you should now understand how is adventurer unit organized and how is Pathfinder unit organized. So yes, adventurers do have units according to the new administrative manual, but the previous one they did not have a unit, but now it is. Meaning that now this will force us one of these fine days to have a training on club organization. That is where we can have it explained better. Thank you so much. But we have okay, yes, Simon, welcome.
Thank you. I had just a question.
Yes.
Uh, I did not understand well
Mm.
how we get that finance, that money for purchasing the honors after doing this honors with the Pathfinders Club. And then you said that we can accumulate the honors and then we give them at the end of the year. Now, how do we get this money to buy the honors so that we can give them as a charge? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In club organization, there is what is called organizing a club and there is club funding. One of the ways to fund a club, one of the ways is one, there's church funding. Number two, there is monthly dues or dues, club dues, where as a club director, you need to, during the enrollment night, after sitting with your staff members, you can decide which way can we accumulate finance these programs. There's where the church is going to come in. There's where you are going to have monthly dues. Maybe every child, each and every meeting comes with 20 shillings Kenyan money. Or after every month, every child should give 50 shillings. This 50 bob is meant to finance the program of the what? Of the club. That's number one. Number two, you can include in your program that you can say that we want to do maybe 12 or 20 honors this year. So as you start a honor, you need to inform the parents that we are doing honors, and if at the end of the day every child should have that honor, and that honor goes at 80 shillings Kenyan money or 100 shillings. So You are starting an honor, and the parent knows that at the end of the day, meaning that a child one of these fine days on a community club that finish the honor and give 100 shillings so that you can be able to buy the honor. So that is how there's club meet, there's club dues where you can say that now this money will go for ABCD. But the best way is parent funding and church funding. You can tell the church now we want to do, we have finished a honor and we need you. The honor is 100 shilling Kenyan money. So please, will you assist us with 50 shilling and parents give 50 shilling? So this is just a local arrangement you're planning. So a good director will see how to fund his programs, what church will do, what the parent will do, and what the club will do. How is club will come in? Do you have projects? Well, those who are in the rural, they can even have project of farming, and that money that comes, so clubs can also have do some projects that can help them do what, have some income for the Paschal Adventure Club. So that's how you fund. That's how you can get this honors. But if you can wait until the year ends, no problem. You'll be forced to pay more. Like if they did 5 honors, and each honor is 100 shilling Kenyan money, meaning that every child will be forced to give 500 shilling. But if you do it step by step, you'll see it easy. The parent will not look at it as very expensive one, and it can be very easy. So that is how you can work. So, but this thing is well explained in club planning and programming. I mean, club organization and then club funding when you're doing all those things. So that's how I can answer that question. Thank you so much. Is there any hand up? Is there any question about club planning and programming you want to share from there? Any hand, any question, anything that is pending? Feel free to ask, and then we shift to the next one. Mhm. Is there anyone? Okay, thank you so much. My bro was about funding. I believe you've gotten something. I hope or you have to add some more. Or have you understood? Or you have a question based on what I've shared? Okay, thank you so much. Now, friends, let's shift gears. Now we are shifting gears. Now I need you to because now you ask anything in the children's ministries. Anything in the children's ministries. So the other time we had a presentation. Before I give a recap, is there any question? Is there any question? Yes. Does anyone have a question concerning what the children's ministries? That's where we are in now. Now we've moved from club planning and programming of the Pathfinder Adventurer. We are now on children's ministries. Before we give a recap, maybe you are here the other time, maybe you have joined here today for the first time. Do you have any question concerning children ministries? If you are there, just raise up your hand. We hear your question, please. My laptop has gone off, but I'm working on it, so don't worry. Yes, any question? Any question about children's ministries? I'm waiting for hands. Now, let me just begin by saying this as I work on my presentation or my sharing. Now, sharing my screen. Children's ministries. Like we said the other time, and like we said, there is one thing that is guiding us in the children's ministries department, according to what we presented, that the church manual and the children's ministries handbook. Children's ministries take care of ministries. In fact, allow me to read the church manual so that you can. I'm reading the church, though I'm reading the 2015, the 19th edition, but I want us to have something you understand what is the work of the children's ministries in the Adventist church. So we have children's ministries. Let me just get it. I'll be sharing with all of us. A minute. Let me just get it right. Now, children's ministries develop the faith of the children from birth to 14 years of age. But this issue of 14 years of age, people have some ish about it. People think that we can have beyond. No problem. Like we said, that there are things that you can always have if it is working in your church and you've last well with the leaders, no problem. But according to our GC or our church manual said that I'm reading from, that is page 87 in the 2015 edition, 19th edition, leading them in union with the church. It seeks to provide multiple ministries, and then underline multiple ministries, meaning that the children's ministries coordinator, he or she is supposed to provide several ministries that can assist the children grow. Several ministries, so is to provide multiple ministries. So there are ministries that are stipulated in our children's handbook, but you, meaning that you can develop other ministries as long as they are leading children in union with the church, that will lead children to Jesus and disciple them to their daily walk with God. It cooperates, remember, this department cooperates, not that it is under, it cooperates with the Sabbath school and other departments to provide religious education to children and fulfills its mission by developing a variety of grace-oriented ministries for the children that are inclusive, service-oriented, leadership building, safe, and evangelistic. Children's Ministries Department is independent from the Sabbath School. This Children's Ministries Department should provide ministries that are helping the children to grow. Very important. I'm reading our church manual. I've seen places where I was even called one day, just 2 days ago, being asked. A Sabbath school leader was complaining that the children's ministries have decided to be independent. They want to do things on their own. I was like, is there a problem? And the leader was like, no, they're supposed to work under me. I'm like, no, 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 no. They are independent. They're even the church board members. So that is one thing that we need to understand. We need to get and understand. Developing multiple ministries in the what? In the club. And then now the other things that people have been asking. What is the difference between the children's ministries and the Pathfinder and the Adventurer Club? There are several differences. Now, as you can see, according to our church manual, children's ministries is service oriented, leadership building, safe and everything. And it is ministries. Pathfinder is a club. In the children's ministries, one, there is, in the children's ministries, there is nothing like registration. Any child who is born in the Adventist church is taken care by the children's ministries. So children's ministries take care, no registration in the children's ministries department. Nothing like registration. But Pathfinder clubs, these are special clubs where anyone who joins must register and must after registering should even have a what? A registration form. In the children's ministry, there's nothing like registration. So we should understand that about the what? The children's ministries, that there is no registration. Any child who is born uh, who is born is supposed to have to join the children's ministries and is taken care of by the children's ministry department. In the Pathfinder Club, there are no ministries. Pathfinder is a club ministry, but it doesn't have small ministries like we've just shared in the planning and programming. But for the children's ministries, we have we are supposed to have some ministries that are part and parcel of us as a children's ministries. So allow me to share my screen on something here as we move on. Now, how can you develop these ministries? What are some of the parameters, and what are these things that really makes the children's ministries unique? What are these things that make the children's ministries unique? That is what we want to go on now and be able to understand what are these things that makes the children's ministries uh, very unique from the rest of the ministries. So that is what we want to go around now. Now, in the children's ministries department, one thing that I want us to understand is that there are some. It is a department that is so unique. One, children's ministries, they should organize a children's Sabbath school. So if there's an elder here, we have a pathfinder here, or a children's ministries leader here, you are supposed to at least have what? A children's Sabbath school running. And this children's Sabbath school will just run just like the normal Sabbath schools the other Sabbath school, where uh, the 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 kids or the children are given chance to do everything that happens in the Sabbath school department. All that is happening in the Sabbath school department should take place there. So allow me to just mm, now this is an extract from our what you're seeing in your screen is an extract from our children's ministries manual. So they're saying children's ministries coordinator and committee of the church election. Now, let me just give a recap. Uh, yeah, children's ministries handbook serve as a training manual. So what we are doing is we're using that. It cooperates with all of us. It contains ideas, suggestions that have been. Remember, it contains ideas and suggestions. So meaning that these are suggestions. You can amplify it, you can add more on it, or you can use the way they've been given. So meaning that we are being given, there is an open in working with hero ministries and developing and nurturing the faith of children in and discipling them to become spiritual champions. Now, children's ministries coordinator and committee, the church elects the children's ministries coordinator to develop ministries that nurture. This is from the church manual. In fact, the recent church manual. The coordinator should have leadership ability as well as experience and passion in working with children. So you can have experience and passion. Many of us may be having passion without experience, and that's why this Adventure Worldwide, this training is here for you who have a passion without experience. But there are others with experience but without passion. Other people that will be given leadership position, they'll just take it there and they'll make no progress. But I'm here to tell that without passion in anything, then why are you taking the leadership? If you're there to prove a point to those who are there, then you're not fit for any leadership. Children Ministries Coordinator works with the church pastor board and board to establish children's ministries committee to provide ministries for the children. The committee should assist individuals. So these are just things that you're supposed to have. If the church has a children's ministries department, vocational Bible schools, mark this very, very clearly. There's there are some other, let me just read. Ordinary members should include Sabbath school division leaders, vocational Bible school leaders, junior youth ministries leaders, and two to three others who have passion for the ministry for the children. Meaning that in your council, you can have these people included, the Sabbath school division leaders, and these are just people who can guide. They are not a must, but they can form your council and leaders. But junior youth ministry leaders are supposed to be there. But look at this: if the church has children ministries department, vocation Bible school, children's branch Sabbath schools. Do you know why it's called children's branch Sabbath school? It's because the Sabbath school department, the superintendent, if there is no children's Sabbath school, he or she can elect one of his council members to be the leader of the children's branch Sabbath school. And that is why, if we have children ministries, there's no need of someone who is leading the branch for children in the Sabbath school. Neighbor Bible clubs and story hours will have come under the direction of the children's ministries. So, a VBS leader in a church that has a Sabbath children's ministries department is null and void, because the children's ministries take care of all these things. And mark this, and children house and story hours, meaning that those people who are in charge of giving children sermon and planning who is going to give children sermon in our churches is not the elders, it is not the department that is leading that day, but it is the children's ministries coordinator or leader. Mark that very well. I've seen where the department chooses, maybe it is youth word, is the day for the young adults, they'll give a young adult to give a children's sermon. But that is not right. That is under the jurisdiction of the children's ministries. Now, children's ministries means develop faith. That is that we drag age 10 to 15. It cooperates with the Sabbath school. No, now this is the church manual. It cooperates with the Sabbath school and other departments to provide. So the work of the children ministries, number one, yours is to coordinate with this. You cooperate and coordinate with the Sabbath school superintendent. Not that he comes and guides you. There are things that you can need from the Sabbath school superintendent, from the church, that you need to in your Sabbath school and the children ministries. You can connect with him or her. Now, these are philosophy of the children ministries where we are being coordinators are often asked the question. They have wondered how this ministry is different from the children's Sabbath school children ministries aim to develop. So there are these questions that we always have now. Children ministry certification. Now, as a leader who is here, you need to organize a certification. Certification are 11 topic that are supposed to be taught to teachers who are handling the children ministries. And this is understanding grace link, where is understanding how to teach the Sabbath school lessons from beginner, kindergarten, primary, PowerPoint, real-time faith, and maybe cornerstone connection. Yeah, so that is it. Important. Now, organizing the children ministries committee. The committee will be comprised of number one, children's ministries coordinator as the chair, leaders of all children's entity. If your church has children entity, others, meaning that if you happen to be having a VBS leader, so he or she is part of your council, so that when he or she is planning for VBS, you are aware. Because, and like we have said previously, if we have a children's ministries department, no need of having a VBS leader. And leaders in other children entities, meaning that Pathfinder and Adventurer Director is part of it. And why is this? Children's ministries takes care of Sabbath programs. So in case Pathfinder and Adventurer are meeting and they are purposing to meet on a Sabbath, and this is where you all come and agree that you ask the director of the Pathfinder Adventurer. She will not say that it is I am having a what? I'm having a meeting. You need to share with the children's ministry so that if he or she doesn't have anything to do on that day, you can have a program. Not just say that we are meeting without consultation. That's why these leaders are in that committee. So any child who is not going to the club meetings, the work of the children's ministries leader coordinator is to make sure that they are taken care of. Like I said, all children who come to church are under the children's ministries from morning to evening. But those who are in the Pathfinder Adventurer Club are taken care of with the Pathfinder Adventurer Club. If they happen to meet on Sabbath, any child who is loitering around and drawing people's vehicles, children ministries leader take charge and take control. I'm going to give you some tips on how to make that happen. So the optional member of the committee members is between 10 and 15, but you can have more. The names are taken to the board for approval, no problem when you have more. So now, let's go to the next presentation. Responsibility of the committee. So when you have a committee, what is the responsibility? Many times they are said that we have leaders who have passion. I've gone to Kisi, I've seen women who are very old with passion for the children ministries, for the pathfinders, but they don't have experience. They just come there and sing and sing and sing. We have leaders, master guides with very many honors on their sash, but they cannot even teach a single honor to the pathfinder. You have passion without experience. And that's why in these sessions, we are here to give you experience to go and make a difference in your club. So after knowing your responsibilities, this is very important. Adapt short-term mission statement, conduct needs assessment for the children. Eh, Developed an overall plan. Yeah, plan a year calendar of programs for the children. Coordinate the children ministry calendar with other church departments so that you don't collide. So when you come to the committee or the council, just know your mandate. Don't go there to fight. I feel so bad when I see leaders, more so for the children, fighting and wanting to prove a point. Someone has just brought a very good issue that why don't we, during this camp meeting, we have a guest choir for the children? You who feel like this guy is coming to shine so much, you're like, no, no need. But all this thing is to make sure that the children are gaining, not all of us. When the children are gaining, let that be your rejoicing point. Developing the budget for the program, share your plans and budget with the board and request for funding, like someone asked about the funding. Keep up to date records for the children who participated in church sponsored activities. This is why you come together. How do you develop a balance program? It is very important to write your goals for the children ministries. Write goals that can be busily organized program without accomplishing what? Without goals, without goals that you want to achieve this year. Let me just give something that personally, when I was chosen to be a Pathfinder director in Bugema University Pathfinder Club, I found a club with like 8 members, and I'm happy I've seen one of person that we are together with at Bugema, that is Maureen is here. I remember joining and I got 8 members in the Pathfinder Club. I was like, now, but I'm seeing very many kids loitering of the Pathfinder age. I was like, how do I achieve it? I was like, God, how do I do this? One thing that really made me is that I was like, now, the first thing I'll do, uh, I'll those 8 who are here, I'll give them scarves. I remember going to my pocket and buying 70 scarves. I'm like, you go. So when you come to the club, I give you a scarf. I remember giving scarves, and it became so many were attracted to that. And then after that, I remember sitting down and starting with stories, giving them stories. And so they were called, yeah, we have a teacher who have very many stories. So through the stories, but many kids came. After then coming now, when you come, I tell you a story, I give you a scarf. And I tell you that for you to continue being in this club, You must be with this scarf. And when you lose it, I'll come for my scarf home. So this thing motivated them. And even when they go home to their parents, that we have been given a scarf by the teacher, and I'm now a pathfinder man. So that is what that's the only thing that I did. But now, without goals, that was one of my plans to bring the pathfinders in the club. And then after that, I was now, how do I bring teachers? I started looking for teachers, approaching one by one. The fact that one is a master guide, some of us just want to be master guides or teachers who want to go out, does not make. I have very many master guides, but none of them were willing. But the few who came, we worked together. That's just a story that, a testimony that I have seen work somewhere. Now, without goals, we can be very busy, busily organized organization without accomplishing anything. You can be very busy, meaning that we see you busy in the church, moving up and down, but you don't have goals. In setting your goals, ask yourself these questions: what is the primary goal? Is the program Christ oriented? How many people do you want to reach? Those are just things that you need to have. In your goals must be specific, attainable, and measurable. But the one thing I want us to understand that I've seen many leaders who come to undo what other leaders did. I have seen them. Very those who want to just to undo, say that this leader did not do the right thing. Those are worse leaders that I personally I don't recognize. Yes, you can undo everything, but why don't you found a club moving or a ministry moving? Look at the previous leaders. What did they what worked right or what worked wrong? You cannot just undo everything, because there are things that maybe they did which were right. You can just amplify them and spice them for betterness. So need to talk about the program and be excited about it. Be sure to promote and advertise your program. Advertising is very good through chat bulletin and others. So the now we think that steps to creating a budget, look at the bunch of goals, look at what did not work last year. So if you want to undo anything, you undo the things that were put but did not work. But what if those things that were put and did not work, and you have how it can work? You can work on it. Consider the financial condition of the department. And then, can you afford new ideas? When possible, set figures high so that you can attain. Like I said, that in programming, you program from high. So that is very key. So now identify those resources and everything, and then recruiting and supporting volunteers. In the children's ministries, we need to recruit volunteers who can be able to help us. This is where you can screen the volunteers. Children ministries, teachers are screened, but the pathfinders are given a registration form to start to be part of that club, and then you should start early and everything. So now there's something here that is one of the things that you can always have in the children's ministries. It is you need to take records of kids or even the pathfinder age who are interested of being baptized, and you start what we call a baptismal Bible study. This Bible study can take charge in the morning during the lesson time, just like as people going like that, like the others happiness class. You can. This is another program that you can do on Sabbath as a children ministries leader, having kids who are ready to be baptized from the Pathfinder Club, because of those who are now 12 and above. That is, let me now be specific in terms of what I'm talking about. Those who are in PowerPoint class and real time faith, those who feel like being baptized, and start the baptismal Bible study class. And this can also continue in the afternoon. So this is another program that can be in the morning and be in the afternoon, where they are now learning Bible study, being prepared for baptism. They can ask all the questions that they want to ask as they are being prepared for what? For baptism. That's another program. And then there's vows for these are pastoral issues, children ministries programs and activities. One of the things that we don't need necessarily to have all programs other churches have. Like I said this last time, not everything that works for me can work for you. you can see what you can have. Choose only those programs that you can resource. That is very important. Now, program that can reach children within the church. One, Sabbath school. I said this very well. This should be done separate from the main others. Can be led by the department, Sabbath school classes. Now, how can you make this happen? You can say that each you can divide that each and every Sabbath school is being led by a certain lesson class. Maybe this Sabbath is kindergarten who are leading. Their teachers and the parents who are there will lead the Sabbath school. Will encourage them to come early in church. This can also uh, this can also motivate teachers to feel engaged. So one of the things that can make this happen, make sure you don't have the same people. Give teachers responsibilities that now next Sabbath is primary that are running the Sabbath school department, the Sabbath school, from prayer, from reading the report, from music. So this one will engage them. And if many will not attend, they're like, not even ask, they're not going to attend your program next time. So this one thing that how you can make this happen. So this is where children to be good leaders in the future can be led by even teachers. You can have that it is teachers who are leading the Sabbath school. Kids are seated. We see the teacher telling us the mission story. We see the teachers singing a special song in the Sabbath school time. Very important, very dynamic. Lesson study guides, mission reading, report reading, and music. How to make that happen. So this is now one of the things that children's ministries are learning in the children's ministries department. Number two, children's church. Very important that we need to organize. If your church has space, at least once in a month or once in a quarter, bring children in the church and they have everything from morning to evening. This is where the ministries that you made are going to showcase, or they're going to have a chance to do what, to to share in the children's church. And the children's church, how does it happen? Uh, if there is space, like I said, have children's church young elders. You can have small boys who you see are responsible enough. Give them leaders to be elders, and they are young elders who are not ordained, but they can be prayed for to serve as elders. This will help them in their grooming. They'll be dressing like elders. Allow them to even read the reading the announcement for the children, so that they can see we have elders so and so. This is where you're grooming them. They will see them coming dressed like an elder, talk like an elder, because we are mentoring them. Have children's deacons and deaconesses in a children's church. No need of having older deaconesses. Let children serve and even have a tag that is written a deaconess, so that when he's you, them are walking, if not a ribbon that people have, you can have a ribbon, you can have a tag, so that when they are taking tithe and offering, they even know, even the others are seeing that, so and so. And if you have like 10 of them, you can have a duty roster that this children's church so and so is serving. Even these elders, you can just have like 3 of them being elders, so that whenever we are having these events, we don't have too many of them. And children, they are very good in fighting also, just like us, because they're seeing that in us. And then children's choristers. This is where kids who love music are being nurtured, having the choristers, not bringing choristers from the church to come and sing there. No, have children related songs. Not, I've seen in a children's church, and then you're singing hymnals. No problem, you can sing hymnals, but remember, there are songs that are related. These kids need to jump a little bit, enjoy their songs, like I'm wrapped up, I'm tied up, mingle, mingle, mingle. There are several songs that you can have, and very soon we'll be sharing those songs in our walls, songs that you can sing in the children's church. Not that hymns are bad, or numbers of Christians really are bad. They're also very good, but blend them, blend them. Mm. A child preacher or a children guest speaker is very important. And when you bring a children's guest preacher, bring a children guest preacher. Not all preachers can preach to children. Not all pastors like me can preach to children. Some of us pastors are very good in the adults preaching, but for me, give me kids anytime, my friend. I love them and I feel mranyo when I am with them. I just don't know how I feel when that is me, a child preacher. There's no need. Then when you have a children's church, no need of a children's sermon. You better have, because, and then even when you're having a children's church in the main church, don't have a children's sermon, because you brought a preacher, and that preacher should preach to the children. Me, I usually say, if you preach to a child, an adult can understand, but preach it to an adult, a child will just look at you. What are you saying? Yeah. But if anyone who can preach to a child, even an older mind can understand. Division now, this during the parents church, children's church, you can have division in the afternoon, where now they're dividing themselves in their ages. Lesson classes, maybe primary, they'll go there to have the department meeting. I usually call children lessons small departments, when we want to have maybe a life skill lesson. So you bring the kindergarten there, you give the beginners there, and they have a session by this. If you're talking about maybe sex education, it is sex education for all of them, for the early teens, we have to the juniors and the children, all of them, and they're all learning. That is now program that can go in the afternoon, and you can have special guests, of course, those who are good in those things, or you can do them yourself. Today we are going for our departments. Our departments are in our lesson classes. So kindergarten, you go there; beginners, you go there; primary, go there, and then you have and our lesson today is movies and music, and they're feeling ranyo, they're feeling way, and they are running to those classes. They wait for teachers to come and teach them about music, and you'll learn more about them. That is another program that you can have as a children's ministries leader in the afternoon. And if you don't have a program, don't worry. Tell Pathfinder Adventurer, hey, my friends, this Sabbath I'm free. You can have the kids, but as they go, remember there are others who do not even love pathfindering. Make sure you have a session for them. And how can that happen? Let me just challenge all of us. Please invest in a TV or a projector. After investing in the afternoon, those kids who love running up and down, you can put these animated movies of Noah, Moses, and this will keep them all. You'll never see a child running, because they love TV, they love cartoons, they love animations, and now give them biblical animations. You will never see them. I have seen this happen in my church. We have done it one day, and it was so beautiful, seeing kids who are not in the club seated always enjoying the TV. They're like, teacher, next time give us for Samson. I love, and they go there. They'll be waiting for Sabbath each and every day. My friends, we can have nice children ministries department. Now, I want to stop somewhere, and after starting somewhere, I want someone to ask a question. But before you ask a question, children's prayer meeting. This prayer meeting, the prayer meeting is where you are having kids having sessions. These are now sessions that you can organize, and in this prayer meeting is where they are learning specific skills. These are a very nice afternoon program. It invites the short talk based on scripture to strengthen their children's belief on understanding of prayer. It includes songs, prayers, and activities of a craft. You see, it is not like prayer per se. It is beyond prayer. So meaning that you can have this session where you're giving them some talks about prayer. You can give them some songs and prayers so that they can learn. It offers children a special spiritual growth and fellowship with their peers. This is where you now separate them maybe in their ages. Maybe you say 10 and 11, I want you together, 13 and 14, and then teach them some skills. These are part and parcel of afternoon session. Have lesson. You can, if it is about prayer, tell them importance of prayer. And this is where we even have children's 10 days of prayer, but very few children churches do that. If you can't do it during the 10 days because of the school calendar, you can organize when they are out of school and organize 10 days of prayer for children. Let them come to church, if not in the morning, if in the holiday. Tell them we're having prayers in the afternoon, and you will see even parents coming to attend, just like the children usually attend adults 10 days of prayer. 10 days of prayer can happen in the second quarter and the third quarter. It can happen anytime. So if you missed these 10 days of prayer, oh my dear teacher or leaders, why don't you organize when all when April comes? And it can start, and you do your VBS in the month of April, because 10 days of prayer doesn't incur anything. Them just coming to church and learning those lessons that were there for the 10 days of prayer. And then afterwards, they are now, you are launching, when the day ends, the week ends, you are now launching your what? VBS maybe, or camp meeting. I'm just giving you ideas. uh, Achievable in the afternoon, based on age division. Baptismal class, I've talked about it, very key. Now, is there any question? Allow me to stop at there a little. There is a question. I'm here to answer if there are any. Is there any question up to there? Because I'm soon ending. Any question? Your quietness is alarming to me. Oh. Any question? Okay. Okay. Yes, Alvin.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Mtumishi, for preaching, for great lesson that you have shared with us about the children ministry. Yeah, indeed, there are so many things we have not been doing. Yeah, but I have this question. Yes, we have a less program to our children, but now we find like now here where we are living, maybe many of our churches do not have the that space of maybe having the children Sabbath. Yeah, so how will they go about it?
Yes, oh, thank you so much. That's why I said I was specific. If you have space, organize a children's church once in a while, not always. And now, how can also this happen? If you don't have space, you can organize for an outing, like a nature Sabbath, where all kids in the church are taken out. So those who do not have space can be organizing some outing or Sabbath out of the what? Out of the compound and going somewhere. So that's another thing that you can do it. But if you have space, it can be okay. So it is. I know this one is safe for the space, but it's one of